What did humans really find beneath Antarctica? And why did they stop digging? Beneath 4 kilometers of ice, what could possibly be hidden? Hello, Earthlings. Welcome back to Deep Space Society. Today, I'm taking you to the end of the world, and maybe the beginning of the unknown. Back in 1820, the great explorer Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen sailed into this frozen wilderness. When he saw the endless wall of ice, he thought he had reached the edge of the world. But what he didn't know was that beneath this frozen world, something far more mysterious was waiting. Can you imagine this? Under hundreds of millions of tons of Antarctic ice, there are entire mountain ranges stretching for thousands of kilometers. And strange fish so transparent you can see their beating hearts, swimming freely in water below -2 degrees Celsius. There's even a massive ice cavity, larger than Switzerland itself, that appeared and vanished for 50 years. Only recently have scientists begun to uncover its secrets. Today, let's explore Antarctica's strangest wonders. Each one will completely change how you see this frozen desert. Let's start with the most mysterious of all, the disappearing ice hole known as the Maud Rise Polynya. This strange phenomenon was first discovered in 1974 and 1976, deep within the Weddell Sea. Then for decades, it would mysteriously appear and disappear, sometimes gone for years, its size constantly changing. Scientists observed it for decades, but no one could explain how it formed. Then between 2016 and 2017, the Maud Rise Polynya suddenly exploded in size, covering over 30,000 square kilometers. To give you an idea, Switzerland is about 41,000 square kilometers. Even crazier, this hole stayed open for weeks in the freezing Antarctic winter. It was the largest and longest-lasting ice hole in the Weddell Sea since the 1970s. And it finally gave scientists a chance to solve the mystery. To understand it, we first need to talk about how Antarctic sea ice actually works. In summer, even at its smallest, the Antarctic ice sheet covers about 1 million square kilometers. That's roughly 24 times the size of Switzerland. By winter, it expands to nearly 7 million square kilometers, covering about 4% of Earth's entire surface area. It's like a massive white tile floating on the ocean. Usually, ice holes like this, called polynyas, form when strong inland winds blow the sea ice apart. It isn't near the coast, but deep in the open Southern Ocean. And here the sea rarely freezes at all. Even more puzzling, Antarctic sea ice has actually been shrinking in recent years. So how could such a massive, stubborn hole appear right in the middle of it all? To find out, scientists gathered mountains of data from satellites, drifting sensors, even ocean animals fitted with tracking devices. After decades of observations, they finally found the missing piece of the puzzle. During 2016 and 2017, the Weddell Gyre, an enormous ocean current, became unusually strong. It acted like a giant water pump, pulling warm, salty water up from the deep ocean, and right beneath the ice hole sits a seamount called Maud Rise. The strong current caused salt to gather around the mountain, and the surface winds created a spiral effect that pulled even more salty water upward. Because salty water freezes at a lower temperature than normal seawater, this combination prevented the surface from freezing, creating the giant ice hole. Don't underestimate this icy opening. It actually plays a crucial role in Earth's climate. The dense, salty water that forms inside it sinks and flows into the global oceans, acting like an invisible ocean current that helps regulate climate across the planet. But Antarctica's mysteries don't stop at the surface. Beneath about 3.2 kilometers of solid ice lie more than 400 subglacial lakes. Scientists first discovered them in the 1970s using radar scans, and today we've confirmed that these lakes exist across large parts of the continent. Their origins go back tens of millions of years, when Antarctica broke away from the ancient supercontinent known as Gondwana. Over time, these hidden lakes slowly took shape beneath the ice. You might wonder, how can liquid water exist in such freezing conditions? The answer is simple: pressure. The massive 3.2-kilometer thick ice above exerts enormous pressure, and that pressure lowers the freezing point of water. So even at temperatures below zero, the water stays liquid. One of the most famous of these lakes is Lake Vostok. It was discovered in the 1990s, buried beneath about 3.2 kilometers of ice. Scientists have tried drilling through the ice to collect samples, but so far they haven't managed to reach uncontaminated lake water directly. However, through indirect measurements, they found that the water temperature is around -3 degrees Celsius. And this lake has been sealed off beneath the ice for over 20 million years. Imagine that, a lake isolated in darkness for 20 million years. What could possibly be living inside? Another shocking discovery came from Lake Willans. In 2014, scientists drilled down nearly 1.6 kilometers below the ice and found a thriving community of microorganisms. These tiny creatures had never seen sunlight or breathed fresh air. They survived by using methane and ammonia as their energy sources. This completely shattered our old belief that life cannot exist in such extreme cold. It even led scientists to wonder, could similar life forms exist beneath the icy surfaces of Mars or other planets? If subglacial lakes are hidden miracles, then the blood falls in the McMurdo dry valleys are pure madness. From the Taylor Glacier, a bright red stream pours out like blood from a wound, falling 5 stories high into Lake Bonny below. From a distance, it looks as if the glacier itself were bleeding. But don't worry, there's nothing supernatural here. It's pure chemistry. The red color comes from an ancient saltwater lake sealed beneath the glacier. Long ago, this was a normal lake. But when glaciers advanced over it, they sealed it off completely from the atmosphere. Now it lies about 400 meters underground. Over millions of years, the water became extremely salty, 3 times saltier than seawater. That's why it doesn't freeze, even in sub-zero temperatures. But here's the key. This water is loaded with iron and contains no oxygen at all. When it seeps through cracks in the glacier and meets air and sunlight, the iron oxidizes. Basically, it rusts. That's what gives the water its eerie blood-red color. Today, Blood Falls has become one of Antarctica's strangest tourist attractions. But for scientists, it's far more than that. It's like a time capsule, recording how Antarctica changed from a warm land to a frozen desert. Many people think Antarctica is a dead, lifeless place. But in reality, it's full of creatures that have adapted to the impossible. They thrive under freezing temperatures, intense radiation, and total darkness. The most famous of them is the Antarctic ice fish. Its skin and muscles are almost completely transparent. You can literally see its heart beating and organs working inside. To survive in water colder than -2 degrees Celsius, it evolved a special protein that prevents ice crystals from forming inside its body. Even more amazing, it doesn't have hemoglobin, the protein that makes our blood red. That means its blood is transparent and it absorbs oxygen directly through the skin. This bizarre adaptation still puzzles biologists today. And it's not alone. Antarctica is home to plate-sized sea spiders, golden-haired worms, and colossal squids that can grow up to 10 meters long. All of them have turned extreme conditions into a survival advantage. But the most surprising thing is, Antarctica wasn't always this frozen wasteland. If we turn back time 50 million years, the entire continent looked completely different. It was warm, humid, and even covered by tropical rainforests. How do scientists know this? Because they've found the evidence frozen in time. Researchers have discovered fossilized wood, remnants of tropical trees, and even imprints of leaves buried in the ice. All of them are direct proof that a rainforest once thrived here. And that's not all. Scientists have also found dinosaur fossils, marine animal fossils, and even beetle wings dating back between 14 and 20 million years. The most shocking discovery, though, is this. Scientists found fossilized sperm cells from 50 million years ago. They were preserved inside the egg cases of an extinct worm species, kept perfectly intact by Antarctica's freezing temperatures for millions of years. All of this proves one thing. Antarctica wasn't always a land of ice. It was once a paradise full of life. Of course, some people have made bold claims that maybe there was an ancient civilization beneath the ice, but so far there's no scientific evidence to support that idea. No archaeological findings, no artifacts, nothing at all. The truth is, Antarctica turned into an icy continent long before humans ever existed, and its extreme environment would have made ancient human life impossible. So for now, the idea of an Antarctic civilization remains pure imagination. But there's something else hidden under Antarctica's ice, something enormous, a vast, invisible mountain range called the Gamburtsev Mountains. It stretches for about 1,200 kilometers, with peaks reaching nearly 3,000 meters high. That's about one-third the height of Mount Everest. But the entire range is buried beneath 2 to 4 kilometers of solid ice. No human has ever seen it directly. It was discovered by accident in 1958 when scientists noticed an area where the ice was thinner and gravity readings were unusual. Later, using radar and magnetic surveys, they mapped out its hidden peaks and valleys. But here's the real mystery: its age. The Gamburtsev Mountains formed about 650 million years ago. Normally, mountains that old should have eroded into flat plains by now. Yet somehow it's still perfectly preserved beneath the ice. Scientists believe the frozen mantle beneath Antarctica may have protected it, preventing erosion over hundreds of millions of years. The Antarctic mantle is colder and harder than elsewhere on Earth, which may have acted like armor for the mountain range. But that's still just a theory, and fully understanding how it survived will require deeper exploration in the future. And now here's something even stranger. Antarctica can sing. The star of this performance is the Ross Ice Shelf, the largest in Antarctica. It's more than 2 kilometers thick and covers about 193,000 square kilometers. Scientists discovered its eerie song by accident. They had placed seismic sensors to monitor ice movement, but instead they picked up a constant low-frequency vibration. That vibration was the ice shelf's natural song. Here's how it works. When the wind blows over snow dunes on the ice, the grains vibrate, and those vibrations travel through the ice, creating a continuous hum. Humans can't hear it, but when scientists convert it into audio, it sounds like a deep, haunting melody, almost like the Earth itself is humming. Even more fascinating, this song changes with the environment. When the ice starts melting, when storms approach, or when cracks form inside, the pitch of the sound shifts. So now scientists use this song as an early warning system to monitor ice stability and detect signs of potential collapse. After all, when an ice shelf collapses, it affects global sea levels and climate. So what do you think lies beneath Antarctica's endless ice? A hidden world? An ancient secret? Or simply nature at its strangest? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And remember, every mystery begins with curiosity. See you next time, explorers.